Hey there, Ted here, BigGoofyRunner, for another one of my weekly videos to talk about my health and exercising and weight loss and all that kind of fun stuff. And yeah, it's been a good week. Just playing with some different stuff on the camera settings. Hopefully this is all recording okay. In the last week's video, I complained about some changes that Samsung had done to their camera app. So I'm using a different third-party camera app that does let me watch myself as I record, maximum 4K 30 instead of 4K 60, but at least I can actually monitor what I am recording. The only weird thing is it's got some, when you turn off all the overlays, I can't really tell for sure if I'm recording or not. So hopefully I don't have to do this video more than once. But anyway, how's this week been going? It's been pretty good. So the last 2 weeks, the 2 weeks prior to this past week, my weight kept kind of going up and down, up and down, up and down. And the lowest I was each of those 2 weeks was 243.5 pounds, which was 23.5 pounds down from January, which was good, but I just seemed to be, it's not that I necessarily plateaued, it just, I would get these weird spikes up. And yeah, I was trying to figure out what those were all about. The nice thing was, is I kind of track, I don't do a full food log of what everything I'm eating and things like that, but I do kind of monitor when I have something a little bit out of the ordinary. And what I found was that one thing that kind of stood out as being out of the ordinary is I do occasionally have a low-calorie light beer, and I found there was a couple weekends there between Easter and a few other things that I had, you know, maybe more than I would normally have, like, you know, instead of like one on the Saturday night and maybe one on Sunday night, I might have had two Saturday night, two Sunday night, that kind of thing. And there was maybe a little bit more of it. And I've basically gone a week now without having any of it. And my weight has now dropped to 241.5 this morning without any of those weird spikes through the week that I had been seeing previously. So obviously that was not actual real weight gain from those beers. It was just a reaction to having the drink or whatever like that. But you got to be careful with those kind of things because it could turn into real weight over time. But it was just kind of just a little spike and it comes down. And it's a good thing that I knew or I was tracking what I was kind of doing, so I was able to catch what it was and making a change and start progressing again. So yeah, 241.5 is great. That's 25.5 pounds down since January 3rd, January 4th. That's phenomenal. It's a little slower than I would like, but like the last 2 weeks has caused some grief in meeting my 2 pounds per week kind of rough goal I had set back in January. But it's also good. It means that I haven't plateaued on my weight loss and have to make larger changes. So that's good. The kind of things I'm doing are just kind of working. So I can continue with what I'm doing without having to make some more major changes right now. So I'll just keep going and watching for the plateaus. And if I decide I'm going to have a light beer, you know, just know that there might be a spike in my weight the next day and that kind of thing. Just understand what those are and just kind of weigh that spike versus seeing the nicer number on the scale. So that's kind of one of the interesting things to watch on your weight when you're losing weight is that you will have these fluctuations through the week. And unless you're really tracking in some fashion what you're doing, what you're eating through the week, you don't really necessarily know why those fluctuations are occurring. And, you know, there's some of these weight loss programs and things like that where you do a weekly weigh-in. You know, a lot of those ones are very regimented, exactly what you're supposed to eat and all those kind of things. So it's, you shouldn't get as many of these kind of weird spikes through the week. But if you're kind of doing things yourself, it can happen. So if you're not tracking what you're doing and you get those kind of fluctuations, you can really get very frustrated in your weight loss. Like, you know, I was having a couple pounds swing upwards from my low point in the week. It didn't seem to really matter as much how much I exercised or whatever. They'll just mess with your head, those kind of spikes. But if you can track those back to something specifically that's occurred in your diet or things like that, then at least you know what it was that caused it. And you can either adjust your meal plan or just go, okay, that's it's good we rode through that. I understand what it was. I won't do that again. Those kind of things. You can, information is key to losing weight in a lot of cases. Even if you're doing all the right things, but your weigh-in tells you you're not doing the right thing, and you don't have the information to understand what happened, you got a chance of that just falling apart, and you're going to fall off your weight plan. You're going to fall off your diet plan. You're just going to fall apart and go back to your old ways. 25.5 pounds down since January. Not huge numbers, but it is important progress, and I'm on a path that continues. So then on the running front, running has been good this week. I've run 3 times out of the 4 times I'm going to run this week. I'll be running again a little bit later today, doing a 4 mile to finish things off. But I've had some good runs. I've done some really good speed work on the treadmill, and for my current weight, so it's good speed work for how I am right now. So that's good. But it gives me, I feel a bit of a twinkling in the idea of what I used to be able to do, and that little bit of hope is very helpful. So that's good. I also did an 8-miler this week that was good, and that one I progressively got faster as I went through. So, and when I finished the 8 miles, I had the energy to continue if I'd wanted to. So that was good. So it tells me as I get the weight down, my new plan to basically continue to get my weight down to a certain point and then start training for a marathon again. That seems to be good. I'm building a solid base right now, to be able to start an actual training program. So pretty stoked about that. So other than that, not a lot going on this week. It's nice that things are moving again. 241.5 is great. That's in the range I haven't seen since mid 2017. So that's a good reach back into the distance. Like, this has been a long fall from grace for me, with 2014 and early 2015 being the best I've been for running and all that kind of stuff. So I did, and for weight and things like that, in quite a long time. So to get back to from about January to June 2017, I was in a similar range to where I am now. 1 to 2 pounds either way. It was just kind of static throughout that period. So breaking down a little bit further, if I can get under 240-ish next week or so, that starts to take me back into the 2016 range. Under 240 is going to be great mentally, because that's definitely a major shift down, and that's going to make me feel really good. Under 235 is the actual real goal right now, is to get down there, and then that's a good place for me to start ramping up the running probably, and actually start doing proper marathon training. I've found that the best times for me to train for a marathon is 235 pounds and less. But when I start to do that, I have to be careful to balance consuming calories to do long runs versus the weight loss I want to continue. So right now, the marathon training is not highest priority. Highest priority, number one goal, is still to continue the weight loss. And that's going to be the goal that wins out for now. So that's where I'm shooting for. And other than that, I think that's it. I'm going to kind of wrap this one up and kind of get ready for the rest of the day and go do some stuff. I think I got lots of yard work to do today. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.